I remember a time when gaming wasn't about frame rates or graphics, it was about fun. So today I want to tell you a story about this game, Castle Crashers, and the impact it had on my life growing up. So this is a game my little brother and I used to play back on our Xbox 360. I'm talking like way back, like the early 360 days. I'm talking about like we had the Pro one that had like 20 gigs of storage and like no onboard Wi-Fi. Like back in the day, you needed to buy like a separate adapter to connect to Wi-Fi. Like Wi-Fi wasn't even really a thing back then. Mind you, this thing didn't even have like HDMI. Like it used composite cables hooked up to like, this super heavy CRT TV we had. This was back when like flat screens were first becoming a thing and they were still expensive, so we still had this like big back CRT. Like I'm telling you, this thing was so heavy. Like if it fell off the dresser, me and my brother were cooked. But anyways, this was a time when downloading games was first becoming a thing, and this was like a novel idea of like playing a game without the disc and like just downloading it straight off the internet. And I remember seeing this game on Xbox Live Arcade and thinking it looked super cool. Like me and my brother love cartoons, especially like the ones we'd watch on Saturday because that's when all the new episodes came out. Like me and him would like binge watch Cartoon Network and WB Kids, and we loved it. So anyways, we were like really drawn to the cartoonish art style, and I remember seeing some of the gameplay and thinking this looks like freaking Power Rangers with swords and magic. I'm like, dude, sign me up. So we bought this game on a whim and we ended up loving it to the point that me and him like no life this game. Like I'm telling you, like we did everything. We tried to beat the game with every character, beat insane mode, collect all the weapons, find all the animals, uncover all the secrets, get all the achievements, because this was when Xbox launched achievements back in the day. I don't know if you know this. Like we even watched like YouTube videos on like the best builds, and we'd watch like tier lists on the different characters and which one's the best for what reason. And we watched tutorials on how to master juggling, which is like when you hit a character and you keep them in the air for a long time and you can do combos to like basically keep them flying. It's so much fun. So anyway, I recently replayed this game and I'd forgotten how much I love this game. I think it's been like 15 years since I last touched this game. And playing it again, I feel like I was teleported back in time to when I first played this with my little brother. Like, I was right back at my mom's house. I was sitting on our bunk bed playing Castle Crashers with him. Now, me and my brother haven't always had the best relationship. Like, I mean, he's a little brother. Like, he's gonna be annoying. So, like, for example, everything I did, he had to do. Like he would copy me with everything. Like if I started saying something, he would say it. If I started wearing something, he would wear it. If I was playing a certain game, he wanted to play it. He always wanted to be part of whatever I was doing. He wanted to be friends with my friends and stuff like that. And I'm just like, over time, I just got so annoyed with it. Even though I understand he's a little brother and that's what he's gonna do. But anyway, we would fight a lot. We had our moments where we'd butt heads a lot. But this game like really brought us together and like kind of changed our relationship. I remember like playing this game with him and just running through it for the first time. You're like, yo, this game is awesome. Like, dude, you have to try this character. Like, I'd play as like the Blue Knight, and he loved the Red Knight. He was like telling me like, yo, the shock powers are so good. You can hold people in place. You can shock multiple characters at the same time. And he was like, yo, I unlocked this new character, and we'd be like back and forth sharing like different stuff. I remember like it got really competitive. Like we got to this one part in the game where you're supposed to like you beat the boss and there's a princess, right? And basically the game puts you to fight for who can kiss the princess. So basically I whooped his butt the first time and I kissed the princess and he got so freaking triggered. And the next time the same thing happened, bro, he was like super try hard mode to get to the princess. So it got super heated and super competitive, but it was so freaking fun. Like I wanted to keep running back that same boss level just to do it again and again and again because we were having too much fun. I love that this game like changed how I felt about my brother at the time because like I always kind of felt guilty about that. Like I never wanted to be like an asshole big brother. Like I didn't want him, to feel like I was annoyed with him all the time. Like I always found him annoying. Like I hated feeling like that, and like this game like made me feel different about it. Like he was my best friend for the first time. Like we were like really like bonding over something, even though it's just a game and stuff. But after that I felt really different towards my brother, and I didn't see him the same anymore, and I really can't discount that. Like that was so important to me. So like me replaying this, I was just thinking like, damn, I miss my little brother right now. I wish he was here playing Castle Crashes with me, fighting over the princess again. But it's like, it's come like I come back to reality and it's like, dude, I'm 30 now. I have a family. I have like a job. I work 6 days a week. Things are different. Finding time to do things with people. We don't even live in the same house anymore. So it's just like making time for things is just different. I should probably go see him and buy him a Steam Deck so we could play again. But anyway, me replaying this game really reminded me like what gaming is all about. Like we used to play this on our Xbox 360 like pro model that had like the worst specs ever. We were playing on like a CRT. It wasn't even HD. We were playing a 2D game, and yet something about this game really like brought us together, and we just loved it. We kept replaying and replaying and replaying it. And look, fast forward to today, right? We have all this amazing technology, right? We have devices with HD, really nice screens, with uh, processors that are capable of pushing AAA games in the palm of your hands for hours. And still, a lot of us are not happy. I feel like a lot of us are always chasing like that perfect handheld, like that next thing, like the thing with the latest technology and the nicest screen and the highest refresh rate and the VRR and the latest processor and the highest graphics and the newest thing. And that stuff is great, don't get me wrong. It's always nice to see the bar being pushed forward, but at the same time, I also feel like we're looking for fun in the wrong places, because I think at the heart of gaming is the experiences you have and the friends you make along the way and the lessons you learn and the challenges you overcome. It's about calling out of work so you can play this super awesome game you're hyped about. It's about staying up all night with your friends, just having an amazing time knowing that tomorrow you're going to be so tired. It's about giving this random indie game a chance and ending up loving it and finding a hidden gem. It's about trying new things, like trying new game genres you didn't even know you could enjoy. It's about finding pure solitude when you finally have a moment to yourself that you can just sit down and play a game and immerse yourself in a different world. It's about leaving the stresses of modern life behind and doing something you love. It's about beating a game you thought was legitimately impossible, that it was so incredibly difficult and it took everything you had to really get through it, but you still did it and you felt so accomplished at the end. It's about curb stomping that one kid that decided to challenge you to a 1v1 after you destroyed his whole team and he still got whooped. It's about getting this one random achievement that you know is literally next to impossible to get, that you know 0.00001 of the whole population have this random achievement, but you still want it just to flex on your friends. It's about immersing yourself in the lore of a different world. It's about being moved by the story of a game. It's about seeing yourself master new game mechanics. It's about seeing your progression as a player. It's about sharing your favorite games with your friends, either gifting them as a key or physically giving them a copy of a game you freaking love. It's about loving something so much that you can't help yourself but share it with the world. So you start a YouTube channel. It's trying this like obscure fan-made game that adds everything you ever wanted that the developers refused to try, but somehow they did it and it's freaking amazing. It's all these wonderful gamer moments that it has nothing to do with hardware or specs or FPS or, you know, screen resolution or anything like that. And that brings us back to playing Castle Crashers on my Steam Deck for the first time. I watched this content creator who goes by Cyber Dopamine. You've probably heard of him. He covers a lot of like PC handhelds, and he compares the Steam Deck to like a Honda Civic. Like, no, it's not the fastest car, it's not the best looking car, but it's a great point A to point B, super reliable car. And I think that really is like the perfect analogy for the Steam Deck. Like, it's not the most powerful hardware, but it's really well made and it gets the job done. Like, I'm having such an incredible time with this thing. And no, it's not the latest and greatest thing. It's not the newest ROG Ally X or whatever. You know, those handholds are awesome. Don't get me wrong, but I promise you, I'm happy with my Steam Deck LCD. Since the day I got this, I don't regret getting this thing one bit. Just the fact I'm able to play a lot of the games that I grew up playing on my 360, like Halo, like Batman, like even Castle Crashers, on a handheld that looks better and performs better than how I remember on back on my 360 is just like surreal to me. The fact that this thing can play some crazy modern AAA titles like Cyberpunk 2077 or Red Dead Redemption 2 in a handheld at playable frame rates at the price I paid for this thing is nuts. Is super nuts. But the core message of this video is that power isn't everything, and that remember back to a time when we didn't have all this stuff and yet we still had a lot of fun. Remember playing your N64 and your Super Nintendo and how much fun you had with those underpowered consoles. Remember how much fun you had with your Game Boy and your Game Boy Advance, or your PlayStation 2, all this hardware that wasn't really all that powerful, yet we had an amazing time during those times. Remember that specs and hardware and performance and all these things are just part of the whole equation of your whole entire gaming experience, that those things are not the most important thing. And remember that gaming is deeper than just the surface level stuff, like whatever hardware are you using and a spec sheet and your refresh rate and the resolution of the game you're playing. That you can have fun with even a game like this, a 2D game that is a super short game that's literally you can beat in probably 3-4 hours, but somehow you'll still have a lot of fun, even maybe more fun than you would have with a game that's like 60 hours. But yeah, guys, I know I'm probably gonna offend some people in the comments, those people that they love their FPS, they love their max resolution, they love checking out the latest and greatest thing. And I just want to say real quick, I do respect you guys. Don't take this video the wrong way, but I just want to share my perspective, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. How important is power to you? Or is there like, like me, like I feel like I hit a certain threshold, and after that, everything else is just kind of a luxury, like a nice to have thing. Because lately I just been feeling like I'm tired of moving on to the next thing and the next thing and next thing, FOMO and all this stuff. And I just want to just make one console my home console and just enjoy it and tell you guys about it. I always want to think about the little guy, because there's a lot of people out there that, they're going to pick up a handheld and they're going to use this handheld for years to come. And that's who I want to make this video for. So yeah, don't get caught up in the FOMO, in the fear of missing out, in the trying to be in the rat race of the latest and greatest handheld. You can enjoy what you have and you can make the most of it. And remember that games aren't about performance, they're about memories, laughter, and those quiet moments when you lose track of time. That's the real heart of gaming, and I never want to forget that.